Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. A lot of stuff always going on within the cryptocurrency space. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This should not be surprising to anyone, but it's still major news. U.S. banking powerhouse Goldman Sachs has issued a request for information, or an RFI, to explore digital asset custody, according to a source inside the bank. When asked about the timing, the Goldman source said the bank custody plans would be evident quite soon. The Goldman Digital Asset Custody RFI was circulated to at least one well-known crypto custody player towards the end of last year. They said, like JP Morgan, we have issued an RFI looking at digital custody. We are broadly exploring digital custody and deciding what the next step is. They know what the next step is. They're just trying to figure out exactly when they should announce it. This was said by the Goldman source, who asked not to be named. This always happens. This is like the fourth time I'm repeating this, I think, this year, and the year just started. We have a thing in the cryptocurrency space. There's always a situation where someone comes forward and says, I'm a source. I know things that other people don't know. And they go, what do you know? And then they tell the thing that they know. And then eventually, like a week later, we find out what they knew. But we've been on a pretty good roll. Usually the source is usually always correct. We haven't had a situation yet where someone has come forward and the news actually hasn't been real, if you kind of want to say that. It has to be named. An RFI on crypto custody was issued by JP Morgan in October 2020, as reported by The Block. The Goldman insider said the bank's digital asset initiative was part of a broad digital strategy, citing stablecoins in relation to recent missives. Okay, from the US OCC, or the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. Every single day, we keep getting news that new banks are getting into the cryptocurrency space. The really crazy part is, for those of you who didn't pay attention, is that years ago, JP Morgan Chase hated us, did not care for us. They spoke down about the cryptocurrency space every single moment they could, until around the end of 2019, the middle of 2020, where they were like, hey, Bitcoin's kind of wonderful. We own some Bitcoin. We are liking the usage of Bitcoin, and therefore we think Bitcoin make money. Now we have Goldman Sachs coming forward as well. Goldman Sachs is one of the largest banks on the planet. Once again, why would Goldman Sachs be looking to get into Bitcoin? Remember all the banks talking about the US dollar is going to drop? They're trying to get in as quickly and as desperately as possible. And even more so, when they file these things, it does not mean that they don't already have Bitcoin. They can own it and simply not have to declare it outwardly, or they can hold it through a subsidiary. We've seen how companies and banks work, not having to actually declare things. The point is, Goldman Sachs is now getting into the cryptocurrency space. Every other major bank in the world is now in the cryptocurrency space. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, and Fidelity are all now within the cryptocurrency space. We can assumption that they're also buying tons of Bitcoin. Just a random assumption. Anyway, there's news that ties directly into this. The point being, Goldman Sachs. Can't stress that part enough. Tying directly into this, in an interview with CNBC, Jeff Currie, that is Currie, said Bitcoin's remarkable run has attracted greater institutional interest, but noted that smart money investors are still a tiny fraction of the overall market. They will need to come in droves for Bitcoin to become a stable asset and avoid a flash crash like we saw last week, whatever that might have actually been. This is evident. We knew this, and if you did not know this, well, now you knew this. The point is we need more money in Bitcoin for it to become stable. But this goes for every single market. It's not that Bitcoin simply is more fragile than other things. I mean, it has a lower liquidity level than other major companies, what have you, whatever. The idea is that the more money that gets pushed into it, the more Bitcoin that gets taken off the table. If you didn't see the last two videos, go watch them because this is exactly what we were just talking about. Bitcoin's price ends up rising. The higher Bitcoin's price ends up going, the more institutions that are in it. When we get to that $1 million Bitcoin price, Bitcoin's price begins to start to become stable. We no longer have any drops of 4%, 18%, whatever. Our drops are then 2%, then eventually 1%, and eventually 0.5%, till we get to a reserve currency status. Until we get, because we are going to get to this point. He said, I think the market is beginning to become more mature. This was said by Curie of Bitcoin, adding that volatility and those risks that are associated with it are common for nascent assets. He said, the key to creating some kind of or some type of stability in the market is to see an increase in the participation of institutional investors, and right now they're small, roughly 1% of its institutional money. This is going to change quite rapidly. Not even so. The 1% number is also not correct. I was going to say it's a lie. It's not correct. Institutions hold way more than, and they're way further in than actual 1% of the Bitcoin market. What is needed and what we're going to continue to see happening is the launch of what we just spoke about as well, is the launch of Bitcoin ETNs, ETPs, ETFs, notes, funds, products that are associated with Bitcoin. Bitcoin futures that are resolved in actual Bitcoin, which we're also seeing popping up around as well. It's not enough for Bitcoin to simply be used as a store of value, even though that, that's wonderful, taking all the Bitcoin off the table. But the big numbers will come in when we see that Bitcoin is transacting in $15 trillion per year, $100 trillion per year is moving through Bitcoin and is constantly circulating. And there's no real risk of someone selling off, I don't know why you would do that, selling off $38 million worth of Bitcoin and having any effect on the market because the liquidity would be way too strong. So anyway, this was said by somebody from Goldman Sachs. So Goldman Sachs is getting into Bitcoin, and now they say that Bitcoin is on the path to maturity. You ever did a puzzle, with 500 puzzle pieces? This is a puzzle piece that has only two pieces. You lay one down and you lay the other one and you're like, oh, the puzzle's done. No real needing to read between the lines because it's always quite evident what's happening. Anyway, that's the Goldman Sachs news. And just wait for the rest of the video because it's basically the exact same thing every single day. We keep getting new people talking about that Bitcoin is amazing. And without further ado, moving on and all that stuff. Next up, former U.S. Treasury Secretary. His name is Dr. Lawrence H. Summers, said last Friday, he talked about Bitcoin and why its price should continue to go up in the long term. Wow. I'm shocked. Are you? Dr. Summers is one of America's top economists. Not only was Dr. Summers the seventh, he worked in the White House and Economic Council and Harvard, World Bank. Okay, he's done a lot. Currently, he's the president of Emeritus and the Charles W. Eliot University professor at Harvard University. Incredible. Summers' comments about Bitcoin were delivered last Friday while being interviewed by David Weston on Bloomberg's TV's Wall Street Week. Near the end of the interview, Weston asked Summers if Bitcoin is a bubble. He said, I'm not going to predict its fluctuations over the next 6 months, but I think some institutions like it. It's here to stay. I don't think that the whole thing is going to collapse. I think that having a run up and then run way down and then moving back up, it looks more resilient, and therefore I think people are going to move towards it. And as people move towards it, given the finiteness of its supply, I'm glad he knows that. That's going to be a factor working to raise prices. Wonderful. Every single day. So the point is, Bitcoin's here to stay. Bitcoin is here to stay. I mean, I'm shocked. I thought it was going out the window. I just assumed nobody would be using it. But alas, here we are. And I don't mean to be cynical. It's just that the momentum is so strong. What's that thing like if you have like a rock or something and you roll it down a snowy hill and eventually becomes like a huge boulder? This boulder's now the size of a planet. It does not get more obvious. All the big money, the JP Morgans, the Fidelities, the Goldman Sachses, would not be getting into an industry that's going to perish or float away or simply not going to make it. The next 5 years are going to be crazy, and I need to really stress that for everyone. if the US dollar does go down and Bitcoin does go up, people who don't have Bitcoin are going to be rushing into the market. I was going to say head first, but it's more like a full body dive as quickly as they possibly can. The fact that we've been getting calls from banks talking about $500,000, even the time frame doesn't really matter. That they're saying that Bitcoin is going to hit $500,000 or $1 million+ in the next couple of years. You know how life-changing that money is? And there's still so many people. There are people within the cryptocurrency space, retail investors, normal everyday people, who have this news and aren't paying attention. And they're going to be shocked and probably angry at the banks and institutions who hold all the Bitcoin because they were not taking the opportune chance to get into the market when they could have. The point is, cool, Bitcoin's here to stay. Glad to hear it. I needed to hear it from the horse's mouth because otherwise I just wouldn't have been convinced. I needed the clarity. Anyway, that's that news. And let's moving on. Next up, JP Morgan analysts state that Bitcoin can see a further downside if it fails to make a strong move towards $40,000. The analyst said that unless Bitcoin registered a strong breakout, it could see consistent profit looking at this stage. This was said by Nicolaus Panzigrotsklou. The lead strategist at JP Morgan said that they are currently keeping a close eye on demand for Bitcoin futures as well as institutional inflows into Grayscale's Bitcoin trust. So, wow, really weird. I should have actually moved a couple of tabs over because this fits directly into another one. This news came out when Bitcoin's price had pulled back a bit, and Grayscale had actually come out and announced that they were stopping people from being able to buy their into their trust. Not really sure why this analyst from JP Morgan Chase really came forward, but I guess it's time for me to kind of address what actually ended up happening. This is why I said I should have moved the tabs actually over a little bit, but you'll see it later on in the video. So what happened is that Grayscale, I think they stopped purchases of their whatever for about a good 2 or 3 days, and people were like, oh my gosh, Grayscale's gone, I can't believe it. No actual concrete information as to what took place, but I assume that the last couple of weeks have been really crazy, months have been really crazy for Grayscale, and I assume that they were required to kind of give additional information to the SEC as to everything that's been going on. Grayscale has been, the news that we just had earlier today was that in one day, Grayscale had an inflow of $700 million. One day. So I assume the stopping of being able to whatever that they were doing was simply caused by the SEC being like, we need paperwork to see that this money is actually real. So even more so, they just I guess, not reopened, but they were actually accumulating Bitcoin behind the scenes the entire time that they were down or weren't allowing people to actually buy into their trust, if you will. And even more so, I like the timing of a lot of these articles because Bitcoin is already moving back up in price. And I assume will continue to do so as that news actually makes it out into the world that Grayscale is still buying up all the Bitcoin out there. So, especially, I think it was also mentioned in the last video as well. Like a lot of people keep saying that we need to be above 40,000 to continue the movement upward, but that's just how math works. You got to move past 40 to hit 41,000 because you can't. Numbers don't work that way. Anyway, cool, yay! So the Bitcoin price has to go up for it to continue going higher, and Grayscale has to have continued interest. Which, guess what? They most certainly do. And without further ado, let's move on. Why am I singing? I'm singing a lot recently in videos. I think it's just something that I have to get out of my system. Next up, in news that also ties into the next news that's next to it. Crypto custodian Anchorage has secured conditional approval for a national trust charter from the US OCC, the Office of the Comptroller of Currency. making it the first national digital asset bank in the US. Wonderful. The safekeeping, management, and trading of digital assets has been regulatory stumbling blocks, okay, for large financial institutions, but those obstacles are gradually being removed. Wow, I wonder why. Stop it. The OCC, as part of the Treasury Department charged with keeping banks safe but also competitive, has now issued 3 interpretive letters that lay the groundwork for banks and crypto custody to custody crypto, participate in blockchain networks, and become payment providers using the tech. So the point is that banks are sluggish. Banks are moving very slow. But a lot of things are being rolled out or announced or allowing them to be able to hold crypto, buy crypto, sell crypto, custody crypto, and all the other things there. The news being that Anchorage has become the first crypto bank, if you will, tying directly into this because we're seeing this across the entire. When you talk about the adoption of Bitcoin, it is no longer just everyday people talking about it and how cool it is and how much money they made. Why do you think the OCC is allowing every bank within the, I squeezed my finger, allowing every bank within the United States to be able to hold crypto, buy crypto, sell crypto? We also had indications that the OCC and that a lot of banks were trying to create their own cryptocurrency exchanges. Why would they be doing this for an asset class that's not going to make it? Unless, wait, is crypto going to make it? No, there's no way. Why would that happen? I think we would need the support of every bank in the US wanting to hold crypto. I mean, maybe when that happens, maybe that's when we'll make it. Maybe when Goldman Sachs announces that they're getting into Bitcoin. Maybe one day when JP Morgan, maybe when Fidelity says it, maybe when Bank of America, don't forget that when Bank of America also announced that they were trying to launch their own crypto custody, and I think their own cryptocurrency exchange. I mean, so when all that happens, maybe Bitcoin has a chance, but until all of that actually takes place, you get it because it already has. Anyway, the next thing that ties directly into this, digital asset manager New York Dig is joining forces with banking technology provider Movin to offer plugins for banks that want to launch Bitcoin products. You do not launch something like this unless you have received indications from other banks that they want a product like this. You don't make it assuming that they'll come. You wait for 50 of them to contact you and say, hey, we need this. Please provide this for us because we cannot do it ourselves. Plugins for banks who want to launch their own Bitcoin products. The move comes in the wake of several letters from the U.S. Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, giving banks the green light to crypto custody, to custody crypto, and the ability to conduct payments and other activities with stablecoins. Is this one right here? There we go. This is from last year. And I was screaming at the top of my lungs, flailing my arms in that video as well. For those of you who don't know, every single bank within the United States is now able to hold and custody cryptocurrencies. This happened last year. We also got news a couple of days ago that they're also able to hold stablecoins and make payments in stablecoins and issue their own stablecoins. And see, you see how everything keeps tying into it? It's a gigantic puzzle. 2 pieces fit perfectly into each other. There's no mistaking it. You can see the whole photo immediately. It's a puzzle piece, 2 pieces. It makes a big B. Bitcoin. All of this is happening every single day. I'm going to repeat it. This is like my 9th time this year. Bitcoin is undervalued. Bitcoin is undervalued. Bitcoin is undervalued. Bitcoin should be higher. Bitcoin should be a lot higher in price. Bitcoin should be over $100,000 right now. We know for a fact that all of this is happening. Why is Bitcoin's price so low? We know that countries around the world are buying up Bitcoin. Why is Bitcoin's price so low? We know that Bitcoin is now, every bank around the world is doing the exact same thing. The US tends to take the spotlight when it comes to news like this, but we've had news like this for every single major country. Why is Bitcoin's price so low when we know that they are buying up all the Bitcoin? I mean, I know mathematically why. Like, it's the trading bots. Bitcoin is incredibly undervalued. Anyway, that's the first crypto bank. That's the New York Dig bank fintech move bank news. And also the news that should have moved the markets a lot higher. Every single bank within the United States is now able to hold and custody crypto. And without further ado, let's moving on. Next up, a little bit of news I missed, if you will, but it's quite significant. The Huobi has announced support for the Russian ruble, allowing users to deposit and withdraw the new fiat currency on their platform. The new feature is introduced in collaboration, it's not just me, because I keep reading some of these articles and I'm like, that's not correct, and I'm like, maybe my English bad today. To deposit and withdraw collaboration, which also enables, users to purchase cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, US dollar, Tether, EOS, with the ruble, and works in collaboration with Advocash, a leading fiat and crypto payment settler solution. So the news basically being cool. They added the Russian ruble. This is significant because we had news before that Russia planned on banning crypto, which I think is just not even going to slightly be a thing right now. So I assume they had to receive some type of regulatory clarity to be able to do this, because it's not like people in South Africa are using the Russian ruble. Who's using the Russian ruble? People within Russia. So Russian people are able to use Huobi, and they added it to their platform. I assume they added it after they got legal regulatory clarity, because they would not have been able to do so otherwise, because only people within Russia are using the ruble. Cool. Amazing. Nearly all of them, I think that's all of them, who announced before that they were thinking of banning crypto. Not banning crypto, they need to stop it. Anyway, the point is, yay! Huobi ruble. News, yay! Let's moving on. This is the news that ties into last video, where I was saying that we had news a couple of days before I took the break that Grayscale had actually bought more Bitcoin, but I couldn't remember the exact number of Bitcoin that they purchased. Apparently it was 2,172. That's the number. That was the number that they added in 24 hours. And for those of you who missed it, pretty sure I said in this video, Grayscale bought another 700 million went into their cryptocurrency funds over the course of a 24-hour period. What's this one? It says Grayscale Bitcoin holdings have expanded even more. That's what happens when you throw money into the market. So, banks are buying it, institutions are buying it, normal people are buying it, everyone's buying it. Wonder what's going to happen to the supply. Winter's annoying. Anyway, that's the Grayscale news. Just had to run over that because I saw the number. I was like, yeah, I found the number. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, after allocating over $1 billion in Bitcoin, MicroStrategy will host a conference to educate corporations on how they can benefit from Bitcoin. The NASDAQ-listed company will I keep pushing that one finger. What's wrong with me? I'm going to move my hand to the side. We'll host an online conference to educate large organizations about the potential merits of investing in Bitcoin. Called Bitcoin for Corporations, a little on the nose. The initiative has also received support from Gemini, Binance, Coinbase, Fidelity, Grayscale, and more. Surprise. The company's founder and CEO, Michael Saylor, announced the initiative on Twitter and advertised it as a free online accelerated course in Bitcoin strategy and tactics to grow your company and create shareholder value. Cool. Wonderful. I assume this is online because, life right now. But cool. I wonder what we're going to hear about this. Apparently it's on the 3rd and 4th of February. So you got some time. If you are looking, it's free. So why not? If you are a corporation or a business, or somebody who's been thinking of getting into the cryptocurrency space, I feel like MicroStrategy would probably be the company to be like, hey, give me some information. So cool. Wonderful. And it'll be really interesting to see about a month after that conference takes place, how much extra news do we get about companies buying Bitcoin. Anyway, that's the MicroStrategy news. And let's moving on. And to finish things off, the new Bitcoin mining establishment from Michael Novogratz's Galaxy Digital will focus on offering expertise and financial services to crypto miners. It will also launch its own project to mine Bitcoin on a proprietary basis. Incredible. Mike Novogratz's Galaxy is planning a significant leap into the Bitcoin mining sector. Galaxy Digital Mining will be the designated new fraction of the investment company. The upcoming project will reportedly focus on establishing a new business body aimed at providing financial services for cryptocurrency miners. According to an official press release, the Galaxy Digital Mining project will be launched this year. Money, Bitcoin, trying to mine more Bitcoin, Bitcoin, money mining. Here's the actual press release for it right here. We had indications many a year ago that there were a lot of people who were not too thrilled about where the majority of Bitcoin's mining is coming from, and therefore they would be trying to launch their own initiatives around the world and within the US. And it appears that all these initiatives are now coming to fruition, taking shape. I keep looking over this one eye keeps like going down, looking at my phone because I keep seeing something. Keep thinking someone's calling me, but it's just like the reflection. Anyway, the point is, Galaxy Digital is getting into cryptocurrency mining. I mean, I'm shocked. I did not see that taking place because, they are totally into cryptocurrencies. So, 900 Bitcoin mined per day. PayPal is buying up 900 Bitcoin per day. But even, I assume Galaxy Digital is not getting into the Bitcoin mining space to sell all of their Bitcoin to PayPal. So you can work that out in your mind if you kind of want to do that. Anyway, that's all the Galaxy Digital news. That's all the adoption news because there's only tons of adoption news every single day. Wait for it. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Wait, there we go. Cool, got it. All right, let's move on. I love doing the wait thing because I wonder who's like looking at the screen like to see kind of like what's going on, like what are they waiting for? Anyway, let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Bastos Bolero, LRU, Michelle and Creole, Lionel with Crypto On, Machonisa Tigra, Cake Me Bake. Cake Me Bake. 7-1 Medic Arf, Staff Corner Monks Fitness Anytime, Face Boat Mick Bodie, Crypto TS, Dayleg Skips Kyle, and that was weird, and Day Every Chest Hits Miller. Coins Minting, Fox Jeremy, Gardner Jim. That's kind of cool. Gardner Jim. Sounds like a TV show. Charles Anthony, Mangelavori Nick. I can't really make this one backwards. It has to be Suzap. That's Paxis backward. Suzap. Impaler the Vlad. I. Richie. Setsuna. Also can't wait. No, I can't say that. No, I can't say that out loud. It's write down Setsuna. Setsuna. And then look at the last four letters backwards. See? I can't say that out loud. Naimad. That's Damien backwards. D3 Coldy Artist Crypto. Worknet Roll Bank. World to the 242. Owl Night Wise. Schneider Jared. Thailand in Ventures Master. Moroni Morher. Sick Gray Adam. That sounds like something else. Mullis Todd. Oh, I'm not saying that backwards. Ibophobia. Olib Iba. That's a bibliophobia backwards. I have no idea how to say that. That's a bibliophobia backwards. Reader Animal the, Sarsen John, Omor Tson, that's Nostromo backwards, Steuer Martin, Yard Vine Joshua, PRX High Man Moon, 965 Utopia, Maldonado Oscar, Harari Yasha, the Attila, because it's Attila the Han, and therefore it's James David, Williams Navarro, Chain Block and Agile Auspicious, Banan Tolek, Chan Snacky, Dayleg Skip Don't Conan, IMT Not Link, Wise Montoya George, Stahl Crypto, Miracle a Need, Case Space, Good All Troy, Mining Bones Bear, and University Bot Gun from Wally Professor. I like having fun here. Thank you all very, very much for your support. I like doing it like once every 2 months, reading them backwards, because it's kind of fun. This is the second video for today. There's always a lot of news. There's even more. I don't know if I have it in me to make a third video. But yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.